Today we're looking at some dudes that prove not everybody should have a podcast, and some of them actually need restraining orders, not just from women, but from their mocks. They need to be treated like younger siblings and just give them microphones that aren't really plugged in and let them blabble on about their ridiculous ideologies, and then no one would have to actually suffer through listening to the mouth garbage that they're spewing. But unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect society, and reality is much, much bleaker. And that's exactly what we're going to be looking at today, is two horrible podcasts that go by the name No Filter Podcast and, I already forgot the name, the Fresh and Fit Podcast. And something I've noticed recently is that there's an alarming amount of just these misogynistic dude bros popping up all over the internet. And I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know if they're like asexual and they keep popping off clones of themselves, or if there's like a misogynist academy that I'm not aware of. I don't know. I just don't have that insider information. But what I do know is nothing, because I can't think for myself. I'm not a real alpha Chad like these guys we're going to be looking at today. I just like to follow the lawn leader and then occasionally turn myself into a human bridge to let women step on me. But let's go ahead and look at our first jerk circle of a podcast here called the No Filter Podcast.
Come on. You're just disappointing your father?
By fucking people?
No,
Yeah.
no. Say you and your boy just broke up. Whatever. You go smash some dude. Who, at the end of the day, if he's over you, if he breaks up with you, he's done. So the only person you're still upset. Oh, you're crying and shit. And the only person you're disappointing at the end of the day is your father if he finds out what the fuck you just did 6 hours before your 6 hours after your boyfriend.
What you just saw right there is what happens when three dudes who peaked in high school come together to make a podcast. You got Garrett 1, Garrett 2, and Garrett 3. I don't know why I counted like that. And then you got their guest, who I can only assume they paid to be there. And they decided it would be a great idea to just shut her up, not allow her to talk, and then mansplain to her how she has disappointed her father. And I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like if you're gonna start a podcast, the first thing you should learn is how to speak, at least at the level of a 5-year-old, because I had to watch that clip about 10 times to understand the point he was trying to get at. It was like a wild goose chase, like trying to find the One Piece. It was almost an impossible task, but I finally figured out what he was trying to say. And what he was saying was, the girl broke up with her boyfriend, and then 6 hours later, she gets with another dude, hooks up with him or whatever. And that disappoints her dad somehow. But by far the worst part of this clip is how he leans forward very far, points at her the entire time, and is basically yelling at her, you know? I guess that's his way of asserting dominance and feeling real big and tough while he's talking. I guess it's really the only way you can assert dominance without whipping up your hind leg and pissing on her, so... And I wanted to add this into the video right here because while I was making this video, compiling the clips and whatnot, they actually uploaded a new podcast where they address their cancellation, aka their very much deserved flashback that they're getting because of their wild and wacky opinions, and this is what they had to say about it.
What's up, guys? You thought we were fucking canceled. You can't cancel Three Kings. Anyway.
By the way, the audio issue is not through your end or my end. That's how the video sounds.
So, do you guys want to talk about, like, the, quote-unquote cancellation that we're getting?
Can't get canceled.
You can't cancel kings.
You can't cancel people who can't get canceled.
Exactly.
And who don't care.
And who don't give a fuck.
People are just mad at the truth.
I wanted to pause again here. Are these two brothers? Because they have the same head shape, basically the same haircut, and the same exact noses. They look like twins. And I guess they have the same dumb beliefs also. But yeah, basically what they're getting at here is saying you can't cancel kings. You can't cancel people who don't care. You guys are just scared of the truth, and that's why you're getting upset. That's why you're getting your panties in a bunch and getting your nuts all twisted up, because it's the truth, and you can't handle the truth.
I'm going to give an example. And I was going to use one example, but I'll use a different one now. So if I call you short, like you're 5'2", 5'3", that's considered short. So if I called you short and you got mad at it, it's because it's the truth, right? That's a fact. I'll give you another one. If I call someone fat and they get offended by it or they're mad at it, it's because it's true. And if you wouldn't get mad if you didn't believe that you were fat.
It's actually baffling to me how dumb these guys really are. They're saying if you walk up to someone and say, oh, you're short, or oh, you have a tiny penis, and they get mad at it, it's because it's the truth. And that is that's so wrong. Saying that to someone, while it may be the truth that they do have a small wiener or whatever, them getting mad has nothing to do with it being the truth. It's because you don't just walk up to someone and say that. You don't want to walk up to a fat person and say, hey man, you're overweight. You're probably going to die in a couple weeks from heart disease. Like, what? They're going to get mad because that's such a douchebag move to do that to someone. Like, how do they expect people to react if they just walk up to them and point out their flaws? You know, like if they walked up to me and said, hey man, your eyes, they aren't quite even. I would be like, yeah man, I'm aware. I'll live in this body every day. It's just in such bad taste to say something like that. And I'm not saying they do deserve to get punched if they do something like that, but they deserve to get punched if they do something like that. But honestly, the fact that they double down on everything they said and then even push it farther, that tells me exactly what kind of people they are, and they really haven't matured since high school.
You're getting all those girls dirty. That's why they're dirty. That makes them.
No.
I got this right here. Women preserve their value. Men create it. Let me explain.
Exactly.
Hold up. You see what I did there? I cut him off just like he did the girl on his own podcast. But man, these dudes suck each other off so hard. One of them could say something absolutely ridiculous. Like they could say, females should be sold as property again to men. And they would probably all really agree with that, but they'd all go, yeah, dude, exactly. That's what I've been saying this entire time, bruh. You guys want to get naked in the showers tonight and snap towels at each other and smack each other's butts?
Just like if your
No,
boyfriend.
I care about your past.
Hold up.
I was actually gonna ask that too.
Hold up. Just like a dude, like you're not gonna want some bum. Oh, you like a lot of girls want to seek financial security from their husband or boyfriend, as they should. But all we ask for, you don't fucking sleep around fucking 50 dudes.
Garrett number 1 here always speaks like he just solved the mystery for Scooby and the gang, and every time he talks, he acts like he's going to blow everyone's mind with the words that come out of his mouth, but all that ever comes out is just word vomit. And his explanation of his claim that women preserve their value and men create their value is so dumb that I don't even care to break it down. But each time I watch clips from this podcast, I can just feel the insecurity radiating through my screen. They have such little confidence in themselves that when they're talking about the female perspective and a woman tries to give that perspective, they won't allow her to finish a sentence because they believe they already know how women think. And he just feels the need to mansplain it and just... it just pisses me off.
Hot topic.
Very hot.
Girls cheat more than guys.
Oh, fuck yeah. Girls cheat more than motherfucking
I was
dudes.
waiting to say
Period.
that, bro. I was waiting to say
Period.
that.
They're sneaky.
100%.
Did you hear those chuckles from them all?
Very hot.
That's such a hot topic. Do girls cheat more than guys? Wow. They're so brave to speak on this topic, man. That's so brave. This is what happens when you get rejected one too many times. You get banished to the No Filter podcast realm to suffer with your masculinity for eternity. But I would say they are correct if they're speaking from personal experience, and I can't blame the women at all for cheating on these dudes, you know? And if they ever do see these podcast clips, they're going to be whopping the sweat off their forehead because they just dodged a huge misogynistic bullet.
I say, if my wife lets herself go after I have kids with her, if I'm going to tell her once, if you don't get your shit together, I still want to be sexually attracted to my wife, my spouse. But if you
Even
can't
girlfriends.
do that, girlfriend too, if you can't do that, I'm out.
Is this too much? I don't know, man. Is it too much? Let me go ahead and look at the TikTok comments here and see what they think. Oh, comments are turned off. Well, darn tootin', the insecurity strikes again. And obviously he's speaking in hypotheticals here. He doesn't have a wife. That's shocking. Breaking news, headline, the No Filter podcast boys do not have wives. What? The world goes into panic and tsunamis start hitting every major city because they can't believe it either. But for this hypothetical scenario where he says he'll leave his wife if she doesn't take care of herself after giving birth to their child, does the same also apply to him, or is this just another one of his super unrealistic expectations for women, because he has a lot of those? Like, bro, this woman just pushed a human being out of her vagina, and you want her main focus to be on making her body presentable for her alpha Chad overlord husband. Jesus Christ. I feel like if you're a dad, your priority should be a little bit different than having your wife held up to this super wild standard. You know, you have a kid to take care of now. You should probably focus on that.
Mentally checked out of my last relationship for so long.
But I don't want
Before
to
you broke up?
Yeah.
I,
But I
Another
didn't.
point.
Goes the fucking show.
Another point.
No, but it
Another
doesn't
point.
say anything.
Hold
No,
on,
it's
hold
not
on.
like anything bad.
No,
But
no,
it's
not
like after
you.
everything
I'm
I've
gonna
been
let you
through.
finish
Hold
your
on,
point.
hold on, hold on.
I'm gonna let you finish your point.
Will he let her finish her point? Find out in the next episode of the No Filter podcast. Oh, I'm receiving word here. Oh, he's not going to let her finish her point? Because by the time he lets her finish her point, we're all going to have gray pubes and dementia.
If you're fucking, once you'll know when your girl's mentally checked out, and when she's mentally checked out,
What's with this
she'll
Undertaker
entertain
music?
any dude. I'm not saying you. There's always exceptions to the rule. I'm saying they'll entertain dudes. They'll fucking even cheat on them. They don't give a fuck because once when their mind's gone, the vagina still could be there. But once when the mind's gone, the heart's gone, they are done. There's no coming back from that. So like,
I didn't even focus on what they were saying. I didn't really hear anything except for the vagina's still there or something. I don't know what he's talking about. I was too focused on the overwhelming Undertaker intro music. Like, why do they have that in there? Do they think it makes him sound cooler if he's talking about his thoughts on women with the Undertaker music in the background? Like, does that make him look more manly or something? But anyways, I just wanted to show that clip because he cuts the girl off once again, and I imagine if you were to watch the whole podcast episode with her on it, she might have been able to get off one full sentence if she spoke fast enough, that is. Like, she's gonna have to start speaking faster than Eminem was rapping on the Rap God verse to actually get a full, complete thought out. And that's all for the No Filter podcast clips we're going to be looking at today. I have one more thing I would like to say as a closing remark. Consider changing the podcast name from No Filter Podcast to the Three Misogynist Podcast. You see, it's a little bit of a play on the Three Musketeers, but they're misogynist, so it's the perfect name, really. And now we're going to be switching it up over to another terrible podcast that I actually did see a while ago, but it didn't really set off any alarms. But apparently, this is also a very misogynistic podcast, and it's called the Fresh and Fit Podcast.
Quote, and you guys can take it how you want. A key that opens many locks is a master key. A lock that opens to any key is a shitty lock.
That's crazy because locks and keys have nothing to do with people. You know, that there's no correlation at all. A very common trend I'm seeing among these two terrible podcasts is that they both like to use horrible analogies that make no sense. Like, they think they're saying something, but they're really not.
Men and women are not the same. We're extremely different. A man that has sex with a lot of women has to bring value. We can go around the table. All of you guys described your certain guy. That is a small percentage of men. If a man has sex with a lot of women, I know by default he has to bring a lot to the table because women are sexually selective. But if a woman has sex with a lot of men, I know she doesn't have value because men are not sexually selective. That's the difference why men can be promiscuous and women can't.
This reminds me of like a middle school cafeteria kind of setting, and the guy speaking is like the kid who thought he knew everything and was like advanced for his age, the one who know about condoms and anal and all that kind of stuff before everyone else did, and he was trying to like preach to the more innocent children and trying to wake their minds up, you know, make them woke and understand the truth, you know, red pill them. So it seems like there's more in common between these two podcasts than I originally thought. They both give horrible analogies, they both love being misogynistic, and they both love thinking they speak for every man in the world when they give their sucky speeches about how much women are less than men while being held to a higher standard. It's just that nothing they say is good, and I feel bad for each pair of ears who stumbles upon these messes of podcasts. I'd personally rather listen to a paint drawing podcast.
Yeah, you did say that you warn guys about girls like me. So now that we're face to face, what kind of girl am I?
You're not special. You're like other girls. That's the
I'm
key.
not special.
Like,
So-
you're like other women that are
So
like...
what makes you special then?
I never said I was.
I don't know the backstory to this, but I thought it was funny that he gets called out and confronted, and yet he turns into a beta Billy and tries to hide in his turtle shell to avoid confrontation. He's even like looking off to the side constantly. He won't keep eye contact, and this girl is absolutely owning him. I love watching every second of this clip. I love watching this over and over and over. Like, it's so funny.
Gain from telling girls that they're not special. How does that make you feel?
Him getting called out. It's so funny.
I mean, no, I know everything is a joke, but I'm asking you a real question. So how does it make you feel? Because if I say you're a bitch ass nigga, that does something for me, right? If I insult you, or if I tell you you're not special, you're forgettable, what does that do for me? No, but that doesn't. But that's what I'm saying. No, but I'm saying What if I call you, if I just say that, again, you're forgettable. That's why I didn't want to do your guys' podcast. Forgettable. Hate the setup. The name is underwhelming. I didn't really see the value in it.
Yeah.
Right? That's how I feel. Right. But
That's fine. That's your opinion. I had something about a second ago, and I was trying to get it out, but I was laughing watching this clip. Man, she owned him so hard. Like, he had nothing to say at all. Nothing at all. And that's definitely all these guys are. They're all bark and no bite. Like, they'll talk big and talk a big game on their podcast. But when it comes to real life confrontations, they're pussies. Like, they can talk all day about how bad women are to their boys' faces, but when an actual woman comes to confront them, nothing. At all. Cricket noises. Like, not even the world's smallest violin could be heard. Not even a pin dropping. So quiet. You love it. You love to hear it. That's just what it looks like when a loser finally gets called out. He's a poser, a beta in an alpha's skin. He's just a silly little man who never expects anyone to call him out on his BS, and when they do, he folds.
I think if you're in a serious relationship with a girl, she should not have an Instagram. That's cheating, in my opinion. I think a woman having an Instagram is 100% cheating, especially if she has scantily clad photos of herself on the internet and she's not making money off of it, which a lot of women tend to do. They have Instagram just for attention, you know what I'm saying?
Stupid.
And I think for women, attention is like sex for men. So, you know, women love attention from the opposite gender. And if you got a serious relationship with a girl and she still has a for sale sign on her neck, I think that's very disrespectful.
So he just said a woman posting a picture on Instagram and getting attention and likes from that is the same as a man having sex. Do I need to say anything? He just made a fool of himself. I can't really add much to that. Talk about insecurity, man. I was saying the guys from the No Filter podcast were insecure, but this man is insecure on a whole nother level. Doesn't even want a girl to have an Instagram. That's how little self-confidence and self-respect he has, thinking that if his girlfriend has Instagram, she's automatically cheating on him. That's sad. It's honestly sad and pathetic. Guys out there, if your girl has an Instagram, go ahead and put her in the trunk of your car and drive off a bridge, because legally don't do that. She's been having e-sex with other dudes. She's been sending videos of her charger going into her phone's charging port to other guys. Cheating sucks, man. Everyone knows that wanting to share fun parts of your life is, well, it's cheating. It's the devil's crime. And that's all the men who think they're better than women podcasts we're going to be looking at today. I'm sure there'll be more in the future. I'm almost positive there'll be more in the future that we can laugh at together. But until then, stay misogynistic, my friends, and peace out. And in my notes here for this video, I wrote down a couple talking points I wanted to talk about after each one of these clips. And after this one, I put, in quotes, can't cancel people who are just so cool they don't care. Skull emoji, bot lip emoji.